Okay, Terry, we take a look at this setup here on the left-hand side. This was your before setup, as you said, very rounded in the back there, arms quite straight, hanging down from the shoulders, and caused a lot of problems there in terms of sort of controlling that club face as you go back. And as you said, you were trying to go back on a straight line, but in reality, because that club shaft is on an angle, the natural arc of this club now is to come slightly back on the inside and slightly back on the inside on the way through. So you don't want to try and go against sort of physics and science. Science is dictating that club is going to curve on a slight arc. We want to let it to do that. So in terms of the setup, what I like to see, forearm and the club shaft, as we can see, nicely in line, getting a lot softer now with these arms, not sort of stretch them out, just bringing them into your body a little bit more controlled there. So we bring the club back in here. We've got that almost at 90-degree angles we can see. And from there now we can just tip forward from the hips. When we get into the golf ball now, make sure that toe is down. We've got a much better posture now from which we can swing the club from. So the pivot point now sort of swinging from up here. The arms in a nice sort of bent position. The club can now make its natural kind of curve that it's going to want to make. So when the club then does go back, it will go back on its natural curve. And we can swing the club through. So the club now is swinging with the shoulders in the arc this way without too much kind of manipulation needed, whereas before, yes, this is a longer swing, but as the club went back, it kind of, you were naturally going to go back on the inside, then you try to change it, then you go back on the outside here because it's sort of looping around there, going a bit on the outside, swinging over, not much, but if I zoom in, see sort of the shaft there, getting nearer the ball there to there. So these different movements you were trying to make to control that club, and then through impact, as you're at the golf ball, the club post-impact now we can see twisting quite a way left of target, and your chest, as we can see here now, almost turning to face the target. So, as we said, take a bit of practice to get used to this new setup, just standing up like this, bringing the arms in, feeling a bit more control. As I say, the position your arms are in now, as if you sort of just stood there reading a book, holding an iPad, that kind of thing. Just nice and relaxed with the arms. They're tucked into your side. Then we just tip forward now from the hips, bowing over the golf ball. Make sure that toe is down. In the past, you did say you sometimes toe up the club. If we toe up the club, the loft will be aiming to the left now, which will encourage the ball to go left, even on these short putts. So make sure that club is flat on the ground. We're getting the forearm and the shaft nicely in line. And now just let the shoulders do the work. And the club swing on the natural arc that it wants to swing on, back and through, without trying to be too straight or even too perfect. So work on that setup, try some of those practice drills we discussed at home just to get the feel for this new setup and this new strike, and hopefully going forward you'll have some success on the greens with the putting. So hope that makes sense. Any questions, obviously give me a shout, but I'll catch you soon. Cheers, Terry.